Welcome back to UFC Now. If you guys want to be a part of the conversation, always feel free to hit us up on Twitter at UFC_now. Give us your comments, send us any questions, and you may make it onto the show. So, stare downs and bad blood have been a part of the UFC since its beginning. So, what are the best stare downs in the history of the UFC? Our analysts are going to break that down right now. TJ, get things started, man.
Man, I've seen thousands of stare downs. These are the ones that just stick out to me. The Anderson Silva Belfort, you know, he pulls out the mask, forward to forehead. They're getting aggressive with each other, and I've always wanted to know what they're saying to each other.
Yep.
not because I don't speak Portuguese, but I can't hear them, right?
Yeah.
So that was always one that stuck on to me. Next is BJ Penn, Nick Diaz. You know, got to rub foreheads, get aggressive. Dana White's got to push them apart. You know, Diaz is one of my favorites during weigh-ins in his fights. He's just one of my favorite fighters.
Absolutely.
So I always remember his antics. This one's just funny to me. Struve and Pat Barry. You know, he's standing on the scale trying to make the height difference completely different. I guess it was the biggest height difference in UFC history. It was just funny to me. How can you forget that?
Yeah, definitely a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 2 is Cormier and Jones, you know. This one sticks out to me just because I felt, you know, this shouldn't be done. You know,
this is why it sticks out.
It got intense.
This shouldn't be done, you know. I mean, make our sport look more professional, you know, not like a WWF match, and just, you know, screaming at the end of your stare down. Just not the greatest look. And then my last, Silva versus Weidman. You know, this just shouldn't happen. You shouldn't have to kiss during your stare down.
Some lip contact.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind getting a kiss.
Sure.
But not during our stare down. You know, you can kiss me later.
Right.
Not when I'm staring down with you.
That was a good list.
I like
Bisping,
the
that's
list.
a tough list. That's a tough list to
I
beat.
don't know how I'm going to top that, but I'm certainly going to try. All right, let's do this. Let's
go. The count.
Wheel the tape. Well, number 1, well, not necessarily in order, Conor McGregor. He's always value for money, whether it's in the news, interviews,
Did you put
in the
two
cage,
names down
or
there?
on the stage. Conor McGregor is always hamming it up, and there he goes again. Hands in the air, thinks he's the champion before the fight's even taken place. In fact, he thinks he's the champion before he's even had the title fight. Conor McGregor is always value for money. Next, of course, Jones and Cormier had to be in there. Yes, it wasn't pretty, but come on. Entertainment factor through the roof, of course. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Can't wait to see the fight, and we're going to see Jones give a nice little roar because he's in the MGM and they have lions there also. Just like TJ, we got Anderson Silva and VITOR, the 2 best strikers in the middleweight division. He's got the mask on there. I'm not sure what that's all about, but even still, it looked pretty cool. Takes it off, gets in his face. Bit of Portuguese.
It was to avoid lip contact.
Yeah. Nice and close there. Next, of course, how can you have weigh-ins, without Nick Diaz?
Yes.
Nick Diaz and BJ Penn was a classic. There's Jason Perillo, my boxing coach, trying to get involved as well. He loves to tear up. Dana had to dive in the middle. That was a great one. Oh, and look at this. Who's this guy? This is what you call a man getting put in his place, okay?
What did you say to him, Mike?
I said a lot of things that I won't care to repeat now. He made videos. He was very insulting. I remained reserved, quiet, classy, respectful, like I do all the time. I saved it for the correct forum, which is on the scale and in the cage. I took care of business, and unlucky Jorge Rivera.
You know, you may be a part of like 5. We could have actually had you on all 5 of those.
Well, for me, every time you get on the stage, you know, when you're weighing in, that's a chance to preview for the fans what they're in for.
Right.
You know, give them a little taste of what's going to happen, you know. So, yeah, I like to entertain.
Right, now this is my list. This is my list now. This is the important one, you guys. These guys' lists, they're all right. But actually, no, these are pretty similar. The GUIDA Sanchez stare down. I'm surprised you guys didn't have this one. This was not only a great stare down, but an unbelievable fight. Intense stare down, intense fight between 2 excellent competitors.
There it is.
Penn, Nick Diaz, of course, I was right there with you guys.
That's
hard not to have that on the list. Yeah, absolutely. A classic fight as well. And number 3, I had the same one as well. Anderson Silva and VITOR Belfort. And actually, Anderson said he wore the mask because he said that VITOR Belfort wears different masks.
You stole
See, I kind of did. Kind of did. All right, number 2, I have Rampage Jackson and Wanderlei Silva, 2 legends of the sport. These guys had a very intense stare down. Also, an excellent fight as well that ended pretty violently.
And here's the push.
Yeah, there's the push. Anytime you see that, it gets fans riled up for sure. And number 1, guys. I don't know if I should be excited or embarrassed to have this as the number 1.
It's gotta be.
John Jones and Daniel Cormier. What stare down has been more intense
Look at that, look at that. There he
caused
goes.
more controversy than this weigh-in? This was insane.
It was awesome. I loved it.
Cormier threw a shoe at one point. I mean, it was crazy.
Who throws a shoe?
It was so intense that he threw a shoe. Yeah, it was almost like the Mike Tyson had a stare
No,
down.
it wasn't. Well, I
like
remember
that.
Mike Tyson. Was he on the floor at one point nibbling someone's shoe or something? He threatened to eat their baby. Come on, it was awesome.
You know, earlier we talked about you guys having the opportunity to come in and weigh in and give us your thoughts on different things, hitting us up on Twitter. Well, we had one, Jake Husband, who hit us up with his top 5 stare downs. Not a bad list right there. He had Sanchez Guida there at number 2. Liddell Silva, of course, was another great one.
Good old Jake Husband. Always comes through with a good list.
Yes,
I like the old school references there as well. Not a bad list, Jay.
Absolutely, absolutely. TJ, what do you think of that list? Not bad.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with it. I mean, he's obviously a true fan. He goes way back.
If
so
you had to disagree with it, what would you disagree?
I don't ever disagree.
Oh,
He's too nice.
he's a team player.
Yeah.
Absolutely.